Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all want to know what time it is? Then y'all check this out. Hey, listen up. I ain't watched my hoops yet, right? That's probably why I'm in a hurry here. I got some hoops to watch, y'all. But it's like this. We got Demetrius Andrade news, right? My number 2 pound for pound. I'll go with number 3 because I don't really like to put nobody in front of Terrence Crawford and Alexander Usyk. But Inouye and them guys, no. Right? And people probably, but Demetrius Andrade, number 2 pound for pound. Listen, your boy Lomachenko had two losses and was still number like six pound for pound. Now, and how did the people on ESPN, or I think it was Ring Magazine, how did they justify Loma still in there and Devin Haney not? You know what they said? He passes the eye test. That's a quote. So damn it, Demetrius Andrade passing the hell out of some eye test. He's passing the eye test from Canelo Alvarez. He passed that eye test because he won't mess with him. He passed the eye test for Gennady Golovkin. He don't want nothing. So you know what I'm saying? So he's passed some eye test. Plus I've been champion and I still can't get them to fight me as a champion. Couldn't get one of them to fight me for undisputed. See what I'm saying? So that's passing some eye tests. You know what I'm saying? Yildirim didn't. That's why he got fought. Callum Smith didn't. That's why he got fought. Amir Khan, Kirkland and all that. You know what I'm saying? So let me just start off like that. So back off because if you're talking about Demetrius Andrade, go watch him fight and tell me if you don't think he's awesome. Bottom line, Demetrius Andrade, the man who can't get no fights and been avoided his whole damn career basically, right? And we talk about the fights that he didn't do. You know what I'm saying? Like lately, oh, he didn't fight Zach Parker. Yeah, you ain't fighting Zach Parker. You probably wouldn't even fight Zach Parker for 180,000. But definitely if you're a champion like Demetrius Andrade, that ain't gonna happen. What else? The dude who came up, Alam Kalami, right? Yanabik. Right? Yanabik bad though. Yanabik southpaw where he from? From somewhere Eastern European guy. Bad now, right? Now he became the newest mandatory for Demetrius Andrade before Demetrius Andrade went up to 168 pounds. Now, people are like, why you didn't fight him? Right? Now, Demetrius Andrade mandatory that whole time was Jaime Munguia. Right? So Munguia just gets to say, I'm not fighting Andrade, and then they go to the next guy. As soon as one is great, then he's got to fight him. They should have said, Munguia, you and Yanabik fight, right? The winner comes out of there with a whole lot of momentum, and then people want to see Demetrius Andrade fight Yanabik, right? And then it could be for some money instead of fighting a good fighter and nobody acts like they know him. So when he beats him, oh, he only had 8, 9 fights, right? But it was probably a hard fight. That's what that's all about. You forced the mandatory to fight me, right? And he just didn't. So Munguia gets to just be, not well, Munguia, let's not even talk about him because he didn't even fight Yanabik when Yanabik's the champion. So anyway, so that's my point on that kind of stuff. So, and your boy Demetrius Andrade was by the zone. Why was he by the zone? Because your boy Gennady Golovkin and Canelo were by the zone. And Munguia, his mandatory. All of them by the zone. The zone would never say nothing about him fighting Canelo or Gennady Golovkin or Munguia. They start talking about Charlo, who's not even there. I've been saying that for the longest, right? But that's what's went down there. So instead of just saying, you know something, we signed Demetrius Andrade so he can get these fights. Behind closed doors, Canelo and Gennady Golovkin are telling us we ain't fighting him. So what they should have done is said, you know what, we're going to tattletale. Go back about 40 years, tattletale on him, and we're going to tell the world what Canelo and Gennady Golovkin has done, and we're going to anoint him and put our money in this guy because he's the baddest one wanting to fight. No, because it's easier to just say, hey, you go by the wayside, and we keep talking about these guys that don't want to fight nobody. That's how we going to roll. So we'd rather waste money instead of investing it in somebody who's going to fight somebody, right? Because if they would have did that, that would have been better, and Demetrius Andrade would be the one that's in the pound-for-pound list. And people all know that these guys won't fight him. So that's why I always like to talk about them. And let's make sure this is clear. If you're a really super ridiculous awesome fighter, you're going to have negotiation problems. You're going to be, they always come up and they make the wrong business moves. All those things that we talk about. Hey, man, you make the wrong business move. Why was you signing him? And why did you do it? It's all because ain't nobody fighting him. Bud Crawford making all kind of wrong business moves. Every move he makes is a wrong business move. Because he can't get no fights. We can't say, you're not going to sell if you're a super awesome black fighter. No one is going to fights to see a black person look that good. They go to fights to see a black person, right, get his face bashed in. And what do I call that? BTBG. Beat the black guy. That's what it is. Let's stop talking around it. They don't. You know what I'm saying? They don't. That's why they get MBFs on there. So, listen, Bud Crawford couldn't get no fights, made the wrong business move. Boo Boo Andrade, same thing. And I'm going to tell you something to a lesser extent. You guys keep thinking about it, but Michael Hunter, I keep mentioning him when I say my Negro League fighters. I always go to start with Louis the Real King Kong Ortiz. Then I start with Deontay Wilder. Then I always say a lesser extent. But Michael Hunter, we keep acting like, Michael Hunter's not a big heavyweight, right? He's not a big heavyweight. But he's done some big things at the heavyweight division. And what was he doing? He was over there by Eddie Hearn, right? But he made the wrong business decision. Why? Because Eddie Hearn couldn't get him the Joshua fight. Joshua don't want none. Couldn't get him Dillian White. Dillian White didn't want none. So he said, well, we got to get rid of you. Instead of telling the world that they won't fight Michael Hunter. And Michael Hunter just got to go do everything. And then they took that Povetkin fight for him because Michael Hunter beat the hell out of Povetkin. But no, he didn't get that fight either. So Michael Hunter's kind of in obscurity. Now let's make this clear too. If Michael Hunter, who's 6'2", about 215, if he was 6'7", or 6'9", 270, what would it be? It would probably be unfair is what it would be. Right? So that's what I'm talking about that. And I'm going to say this about Demetrius Andrade. From 154 to 175, he's number one. Period. Somebody, what up? What up? Who? What? Andrade versus Bivol right now. What's happening? Right? It is what it is. Let's see what up. That's why I got him in my number 2 pound, but maybe number 3 right now because Usyk, you got to give Usyk respect and you got to give Terrence Crawford respect. It is what it is, right? Now, here's another thing people talk about. Now, all of a sudden, remember that fight with Zach Parker and your boy John Ryder? When Boo Boo was about to fight Zach Parker, was there any talk about the winner getting Canelo? It was just we might say you might have heard eliminator. You might have heard that. I'm not even sure about that. But let's just say they were saying eliminator. When Zach Parker and John Ryder fight, the winner gets Canelo, right? Because Canelo wasn't fighting no Demetrius Andrade if he'd have fought Zach Parker, and that's why they offered him only in the purse being $180,000 because they knew he wasn't gonna take it, right? That's what this is all about. So, yes, I'm glad that Demetrius Andrade, right now, he's moved over from the zone. He was out there for a minute. Now he's over by Showtime. He's going to fight on Gervonta Davis's versus Garcia guy. He's going to fight on that undercard. Think about it, Andrade on the undercard. Going to fight on that undercard, fight at some guy, I didn't even got his name right now. And then, but he's after this fight, he's trying to get the the Charlos, the Benavideses of the world, right? To a lesser extent, Caleb Plant, but it ain't gonna be no lesser extent if Caleb Plant were able to pull out that win over Benavides. Then Caleb Plant for sure. So he's been over there to try to get those guys like Bud Crawford. Bud Crawford was over there trying to get Pacquiao, and they just didn't give it to him. So the same thing with Demetrius Andrade. He over there trying to get Gennady Golovkin and Canelo. They won't give it to him, even his mandatory Munguia. Now he's got to go over here and see if he can get, a Charlo or Benavides. You know what I'm saying? But here's the deal. If he was whack, he would have been fought a long time ago. He'd be forgotten if he was whack. If Demetrius Andrade was Yildirim, he'd have fought all of them by now. Demetrius Andrade was pretty much anywhere. So that's why, me personally, I don't give a damn what everybody else is talking about. Demetrius Andrade is all that in a bag of chips. And you know what? The whole boxing community knows it. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide. And I'm up out of here, y'all. Hoops to watch.